Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1731 of What You Up To Now, documenting the journey as I originally transitioned in 2017 from following my divorce, brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. And I, like so many others my age, grew up without the internet. And so I grew up in corporate America and running my own businesses on the side. Always had a side hustle for as long as I could remember. Since I was 13, I had a business, was running some kind of business or entrepreneurial adventure. Some big, some small, some good, some bad, some super successful, some absolute total flops, which gives you a lot of experience. But having the side business and simultaneously working in corporate America for over a quarter century gave me a lot of confidence and ability to see things differently, as well as move through the ranks and move my corporate career really, really quickly compared to a lot of other people, because I had that fallback, that other thing going on, that if I lost my job, it was okay. So I could take more risks. I could do things that other people wouldn't do because they had car payments and mortgages and families to support. So I had a family to support, but I also had more than one thing going on. And that gives us such a huge advantage in any area and aspect of our life, right? Because stuff ebbs and flows all the time. Corporate jobs ebb and flow all the time. Look at the job market in the pandemic. I mean, millions and millions of people that never ever had any reason to feel insecure or doubtful about their employment all of a sudden found themselves at home with their kids, homeschooling them with no income coming in, or the supplements from the government, or what's it called? When you lose your job. Anyway, whatever that's called, when you lose your job, unemployment. Like, I couldn't think of unemployment. And unemployment's, a couple $100 a week, I think. And most people are making a lot more than that when they're employed and when they're working. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned from the pandemic, many of which are we have to be able to sustain and take care of ourselves and those we love and care about. And we need to find ways to do that. And I've always believed that having multiple streams of income, different ways of having money coming into our lives, is critical and important. So we talk about that a lot. Today, pieces of content I shared for Supersize Your Business. I have a Supersize Your Business group where we talk about and work on growing and building and scaling and supersizing our businesses. And today, every day I share an idiom just to get us thinking and our brains working all the time, and reminding us to look at things from different perspectives, because a lot of times any problem, any challenge, any setback, any obstacle we're facing, it's all figure outable, right? We can figure absolutely anything out, but we have to believe we can figure it out. And we have to be open to looking at things from different points of view and different perspectives to find solutions that we aren't currently seeing based on our current thinking, if that makes sense. So I love thinking about language and words and what things mean, and reminding myself that what things mean to me aren't necessarily what they mean to you. And that's why it's so important that we clarify, we communicate, and we do all the other things that make us good human beings. So today, everything is going to be all right was our idiom to coincide with the right paradox. And basically the right paradox says, and I'm going to look because I kind of meat-axed it when I was explaining it in Supersize Your Business today. It says, the more convinced someone is that they're right, the less they probably know, meaning the less they probably know about the subject that they're talking about. Think of any conversation you've had with anyone about politics or religion or whatever. They will share their opinion or regurgitate what they've heard, and I'm guilty of this too on occasion, as if it's absolutely true and right. And you can argue right versus wrong, or right as in true and factual, and it's the way it is. And then I just think about all of the millions and billions, I don't know if there were billions of people back then, but millions of people that used to think the world was flat. And then technology and science advanced, and we realized, oh no, we're living on this round ball. It's not flat at all. So information comes in all the time, and it's up to us to think for ourselves and say, well, what does it mean? What does it mean to me? And we can share our opinions and our thoughts on a topic, but I know that the more I convince I'm right about something, the more I need to ask myself, well, how do I know? Do I really know? What evidence do I have to back up my thoughts and beliefs about something? And this applies to our beliefs about anything and everything, including ourselves, right? How many of us have conflicting or false beliefs. Like everybody, very few people have worked on themselves enough to have eliminated all false beliefs, all shortcomings, all misinformation from our minds, our brains, both conscious and subconscious level, right? We might think we got everything together in every area and aspect of our life, only to discover that there are little niggling, conflicting beliefs that we've had since we were a kid. We had one bad traumatic experience that we linked all kinds of stuff to that we're not even aware of. So I actually really I love the song. It's a country western song, Everything's Gonna Be All Right, by David Lee Murphy and Kenny Chesney. I think it came out in 2017, which was a really good time for stuff to come out, because for the last decade or so, probably longer, maybe a couple decades, there's been a lot of strife and turmoil in our lives. And a lot of it's manufactured and created intentionally to make us not think for ourselves and to control us and get us to think in certain ways. But we have to always remind ourselves and ask ourselves, if somebody is trying to control the way I'm thinking, why is that? What's behind it? And can I trust and believe anything that they're saying? Probably not. And that's why I have to find different ways to think for myself and show up in the world the way I want to show up in the world. And each and every one of us needs to do that. We can do it. We absolutely have the ability to, but it's easier sometimes to just give in and go with the flow. And I say, don't give in and go with the flow if it's something that goes against your core beliefs. And to me, one of my core beliefs is we need to think for ourselves. We need to be ourselves, 100% who we are authentically, and show up even when that's scary. And, most days it's scary for me to show up on video, but I'm going to do it anyway, because that gives other people permission to do the same thing. If we do the thing we're afraid of, pretty soon we're not afraid of it anymore. I mean, I'm not really that afraid to show up online anymore. I mean, sometimes my makeup's really bad, and the worse my vision gets, the worse my makeup gets. At some point, I'm going to have to tip the scale, and I'm going to have somebody do my makeup for me before I can show up on video. But I like to do things in my own time frame, so I don't want to give up on that yet. Gave up driving, which was huge, and, kind of had to. But there's certain things that I'm going to hang on to as long as I can, because they help me be more independent and do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want. All right. Everything's going to be all right. The right paradox. Think about it today. Think about when you're thinking you're absolutely right about something. Oh, I'm so right about this. And I think back to this one, just reminded me, thinking back to like in high school, when you think you know it all. Oh my God, I thought I knew so much in high school. And even the first couple of years of college. Oh, I was so right about everything, and so cocky and so arrogant. And I'm like, it just makes me cringe when I think about some of those experiences and some of the times I showed up and how I showed up. I'm like, God, what an ass. But, we don't know what we don't know until we know it. And so I had a lot of learning to do, just like we all do. We're all human. All right. If I can help in any way, ask. Otherwise, I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.